Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh man, okay, alright,
How Werner Ziyech, Havertz, CHILWELL and THIAGO Silva will fit in at Chelsea. If you're looking for cheap, good quality football jerseys, then go over to www.jerseyfever.com where you can get the new season's jerseys for under $30. They even have retro jerseys as well. A link to the website will be in the description below, and if you use the coupon code ATLANTISFOOTBALL, you'll get 5% off. This video will look at Chelsea's weaknesses from last season and analyse whether Chelsea's new signings will be improvements in these areas compared to the players Chelsea had in those positions last season. The second video will look at how these new signings will fit into Lampard's system tactically, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss out on that. So Chelsea have already signed Timo Werner from RB Leipzig for £47 million, HAKIM Ziyech from Ajax for £36 million, Ben Chilwell from Leicester for £45 million, Thiago Silva from PSG on a free after his contract expired, and are also reportedly close to signing Kai Havertz from Leverkusen for around £85 million, while that deal may have already been completed by the time this video comes out. That will take Chelsea's spending to around £210 million, but will these signings improve Chelsea enough to make them title contenders? Well, to answer that question, we first have to look at Chelsea last season. So Lampard predominantly used a 4-3-3 system. In possession this would become a 3-4-2-1 shape, with the fullbacks advancing forward up the pitch, and Jorginho playing the role of a halfback or a regista type midfielder, dropping between the two centre-backs to create a back three. With the fullbacks advanced up the pitch, keeping the width in the system, this allowed the two wide attackers to move infield into the half spaces as well. Jorginho was tasked with progressing the ball forward, and one of the two central midfielders ahead of him, usually Kovacic if he was playing, would drop slightly deeper to aid the Chelsea deep three when progressing the ball up the pitch. The other central midfielder, usually Mason Mount, would push higher up the pitch, trying to find space between the lines of the opposition system. Lampard's possession style was one based on retaining the ball, playing out from the back when under pressure, but also allowing the centre-backs and Jorginho to play a direct pass into the forward line to bypass an aggressive press when needed. This was why Lampard started using Giroud as a centre-forward towards the end of the season, as his ability to control the direct pass and link the forward and midfield lines was a lot better than Tammy Abraham's. This doesn't change much from system to system, as the possession shape remains a 3-4-2-1 variation, even in a 3 at the back starting shape. Out of possession, Lampard would use a man-to-man pressing system. In the 3-4-3, he looks to use a narrow pentagon shape that is designed in order to cut off the passing lanes into the opposition central midfielders and force them to funnel the ball out wide to the fullbacks. This was a pressing tactic that was extremely effective against Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final. In the 4-3-3, Lampard's press is a lot more aggressive, with an extra man in an advanced position, and therefore the press is a lot more effective because of this, with the 4-3-3 becoming a 4-4-2 at times when one of the central midfielders pushes forward into the forward line press, which is often used to stop the opposition centre-backs being able to move the ball into the middle third. When the opposition did move into the middle third with the ball and beat Chelsea's press, Lampard's side would often drop into a flat 4-5-1 shape, remaining narrow and compact to stop space opening up between the lines. However, it was in the transition periods when Chelsea couldn't get back into a compact shape where they would become exposed defensively. Last season, whilst Lampard's side did look impressive throughout periods in the season, there were some clear weaknesses in the side. The most obvious came from defending the centre of midfield, and in particular Jorginho's lack of athleticism and one-on-one defending ability, which was exposed when the game would become stretched and there was space in midfield and the opposition would counter quickly through the centre of the pitch, and Jorginho didn't have the pace or tackling ability to be able to move across and break up these attacks. At centre-back, Chelsea also looked shaky, which did come in part down to the lack of shielding from the midfield, which would often expose the centre-back pairing, leading to positional mistakes. Rudiger is Chelsea's best defender, but next to Christensen or Zouma, Chelsea's centre-back pairing can look erratic at times, which could be improved by bringing in a centre-back with greater composure and positional awareness. Alonso was an obvious weakness at left back when defending. He often looked lethargic when running back and is positionally poor when the ball is on the other side of the pitch, which would lead to him often losing his attacker and allowing a run in behind him far too easily. Kepa Arrizabalaga's form was also very problematic, in particular his shot stopping. He has a worse record in Europe's top 5 leagues when it comes to save percentage, with a dismal 54.5%. Compare that to even Manchester United's out-of-form David De Gea's 74.2% save percentage, and you can see how much of a problem position this is for Chelsea. So are the new signings that have been brought in upgrades on what Lampard has already got in those positions? Well, Chelsea's first two signings were both in the attacking department. Whilst this wasn't the most pressing issue, Chelsea's attack has gone from a good one to a potentially top class one now. Timo Werner is a massive upgrade on Olivier Giroud and Tammy Abraham. He doesn't have the same ability as Giroud to link the attack, but has far better movement in behind the back line, chance creating and finishing ability than both of the Chelsea forwards. We can see this when we compare their statistical models. Both Werner and Abraham are excellent at getting into goal scoring positions, as seen as both of their non-penalty XG per 90 rates from last season rank in the 95th percentile or the top 5% of all strikers in Europe's top 5 leagues. Werner overperforms his non-penalty XG rate of 0.64 per 90 by scoring 0.81 non-penalty goals per 90, whereas Tammy Abraham just underperforms his XG rate, showing that Werner is not just a better finisher than Tammy Abraham, but one of the best finishers in the world, ranking in the 97th percentile range. Werner is also significantly more creative than Tammy Abraham, having an expected assist rate of 0.29 per 90, ranking him in the 97th percentile, whereas Abraham and even Giroud are both well off of this. Werner also ranks incredibly highly for touches in the box, dribbles and XG per shot, showing how much of an improvement he would be up front in Lampard's side. Hakim Ziyech is one of the most creative midfielders in all of Europe. Yes, he's playing in the Eredivisie, but for the last few seasons he's been so far ahead of everyone else in terms of creative output and has proved his quality in the Champions League as well. In the Eredivisie last season he created 4.3 key passes per 90, the most in the league of anyone who played more than 1,000 minutes. In the 2018-19 season he created 4 key passes per 90, which was the most in the league that season, and the season before that he also topped the key pass table again with 4.2 key passes per 90. I think coming into the Chelsea side on that right flank, Ziyech will offer an immense improvement on WIGAN, who is still a very good player, but I feel that Ziyech is world class. His dribbling ability, passing, vision and long range shooting ability, combined with his off the ball pressing and discipline, makes him one of the best players in the Premier League and an absolute bargain at 35 million. The other major signing that hasn't yet been confirmed but looks close to completion is Kai Havertz. Havertz will come into the midfield 3 in the 4-3-3 shape to play in Mason Mount's role. Whilst Mason Mount is a good player for a top 6 club to have in their squad and has the necessary off the ball movement and positional understanding to be a key part of Lampard's side, I think Havertz brings all of those plus an increase in on the ball quality. When we compare both players' statistical models from last season, we can clearly see that Havertz vastly outperforms Mount in every significant metric. Havertz ranks incredibly highly in terms of goal scoring when ranked alongside other attacking midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues, ranking in the 88th percentile for non-penalty XG and in the 91st percentile for non-penalty goals per 90. Last season in the Bundesliga he scored 0.40 non-penalty goals per 90 from an XG of 0.31 per 90, which is a significant overperformance, suggesting that Havertz is not only excellent at getting into goal scoring positions, but finishing the chances from those positions as well. He's also a lot more creative than Mason Mount, with his expected assist rate ranking very highly in the 84th percentile, and when it comes to dribbles completed, passes into the box and shot creating actions, he's also outperforming Chelsea's current central attacking midfielder. This shows that Havertz would be a massive improvement on Mount when playing in the most advanced midfield role in the midfield 3 alongside Kovacic and Jorginho. THIAGO Silva has also arrived from PSG, which should bring some much needed composure, positional awareness and overall improvement in the individual defending in the back line. From each statistical model we can see that THIAGO Silva is still a top defender despite being 35. He puts in a lot of tackles and has an extremely high tackle ratio, ranking in the 97th percentile when compared to all centre backs in Europe's top 5 leagues. He's also very good on the ball, ranking highly for passes into the final third, pass and long pass completion, which will aid Lampard's side when in possession and looking to open up the opposition system. He'll also bring the leadership and organisational skills in the back line that Chelsea have been missing. Chelsea also brought in Ben Chilwell from Leicester, which I think was specifically sanctioned to improve Chelsea defensively in that left back position. Chilwell is definitely a better positional defender than both Emerson and Alonso, and a lot less error prone as well. He doesn't have the same attacking ability as Alonso, but this is because the Spaniard is more of a wing back than a full back. I do think Chelsea could have got a better left back than Ben Chilwell, with the likes of Reguilón and Estupiñán available, who are a lot better offensively and also defensively in my opinion, and would have been available at a much cheaper price. Nevertheless, despite Chelsea overpaying in my opinion, Chilwell does improve Chelsea in this area. He'll provide the necessary attacking threat by overlapping down the left side, which will allow Pulisic to move in field. His statistical model does show he isn't an outstanding fullback just yet, but he is only 23, so could improve dramatically and will certainly improve Chelsea's backline from a defensive point of view. So that was my individual analysis of Chelsea's signing. In the next video, which will be coming out shortly, I will be tactically analysing how they will fit into Lampard's systems. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, remember to hit the like button, subscribe and click the bell to get notified when my videos come out. Also check out some of my other videos linked in the description below, and for cheap good quality football jerseys you can go to the website in the description and use the code ATLANTISFOOTBALL for 5% off.